What if I told you that one of the most violent and terrifying poltergeist cases in British history happened not in some ancient castle, but in an ordinary family home in Yorkshire? The Black Monk of Pontefract didn't just move objects or make noise. It physically attacked an entire family, threw them downstairs, and tormented them for years. This case was so extreme that it challenged everything paranormal investigators thought they knew about hauntings, and the evidence they captured still can't be explained today. This is the story of the Black Monk of Pontefract, a case so violent, so relentless, it's been called the most terrifying poltergeist haunting in European history. A family torn apart, a town gripped by fear, and a figure cloaked in darkness watching from the corners. But before we dive in, some of the details in this story are extremely disturbing and may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. As always, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date with the channel. All right, let's dive into the video. It's August 1966. Pontefract, a working-class town in West Yorkshire, is steeped in history. Once a medieval stronghold, its cobbled streets whisper tales of executions, battles, and a dark past tied to the nearby Pontefract castle where prisoners were once hanged. But for the Pritchard family, Joe, Jean, and their two children, 15-year-old Philip and 12-year-old Diane, life is simple. They've just moved into 30 East Drive, a modest council house. It's a fresh start, a place to call home. Joe and Jean are practical people. Joe works long hours. Jean keeps the house in order. Philip and Diane are typical kids, school, friends, the hum of everyday life. But something about 30 East Drive feels off. It starts small. A faint chill in the air, even in summer. A creak from the upstairs landing when no one's there. Joe brushes it off. Old houses settle, he says. But Jean notices something else. Dust, fine and powdery, falling from the ceiling in the living room. Not just a sprinkle, but piles of it, like someone's emptying a vacuum bag overhead. They check the attic. Nothing. No cracks. No leaks. No explanation. Then, one night, Philip hears it. A loud bang, like a door slamming shut. He bolts upright in bed, heart racing. The house is silent. Too silent. This was just the beginning. By late 1966, the Pritchards couldn't ignore it anymore. The noises escalate. Knocks, thumps, and scrapes echo through the house at all hours. Objects begin to move. Spoons vanish from the kitchen only to appear in the bathroom. A heavy plant pot tips over in the night, soil spilling across the floor like a wound. Jean, ever pragmatic, tries to rationalize it. Maybe it's the pipes. Maybe it's the neighbors. But then, something impossible happens. It's a warm evening, August 1966. The family is gathered in the living room. Suddenly, a pool of water appears on the floor. Not a drip, not a spill, a perfect puddle, as if someone poured it from thin air. Joe checks the ceiling, the walls, the pipes. Bone dry. Before they can process it, another puddle forms. Then another. The room fills with a cold, oppressive weight, like the air itself is watching. The Pritchards call in a local vicar. He blesses the house, but it doesn't help. If anything, it makes things worse. The knocks grow louder, more insistent, like fists pounding from inside the walls. And then, they see it. Diane, just 12 years old, freezes. She's the first to glimpse it. A tall, dark figure, cloaked like a monk, standing motionless at the end of the upstairs hall. It doesn't move. It doesn't speak. But it watches. She screams, and it vanishes. The Pritchards named it Fred, a nickname to make it less terrifying. But it doesn't work. Before we continue on, if you are enjoying the video so far, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, let me know down in the comments. Your support truly means everything. All right, back to the video. By 1968, Fred was no longer a curiosity. It's a predator. The poltergeist activity at 30 East Drive becomes unrelenting. Furniture moves on its own. Heavy wardrobes shift, tables flip, and chairs stack themselves in the middle of the night. The family wakes to find their living room rearranged, as if someone, or something, redecorated while they slept. But it's Diane who bears the brunt. The entity seems fixated on her. One night she's alone in her room when her bed begins to shake. Not a tremor, a violent, bone-rattling shudder, as if something is trying to throw her off. She screams for her parents, but the door won't open. It's not locked. It's held shut by an unseen force. When Joe finally forces the door open, he finds Diane curled on the floor, trembling. Her arms are covered in scratches, red and raw, as if clawed by invisible hands. The marks weren't there before. The worst is yet to come. One night in 1969, Diane is alone upstairs. The house is quiet. Too quiet. Then, a force seizes her. She's dragged from her bed, down the hall, and up the stairs to the attic. Not gently, violently. Her hair is yanked, her body pulled by an unseen grip. She screams, clawing at the walls, leaving nail marks in the plaster. Joe and Jean hear her cries and sprint upstairs, finding Diane crumpled at the attic door, her nightgown torn, her scalp bleeding where chunks of hair were ripped out. She's sobbing, incoherent, repeating, "It was him. The monk." The Pritchards can't afford to move, so they are trapped, and the council won't rehouse them. As for Fred, whatever it is, seems to feed on their fear. As the haunting intensifies, the Pritchards turn to local historians and paranormal investigators for answers. They uncover a chilling connection. 30 East Drive sits near the site of Pontefract Castle, where in the 16th century, a Cluniac monk was executed for a heinous crime. Some say rape, others murder. His body was hanged on a gallows, his spirit left to wander. Investigators, including paranormal researcher Tom Cuniff, propose a theory. The entity haunting 30 East Drive is this monk. They dub it the Black Monk of Pontefract. The name sticks, and so does the fear. The monk isn't just a ghost, it's a poltergeist, a force of chaos. Unlike typical hauntings, poltergeists don't just appear. They act. They break. They hurt. And the Black Monk is relentless. Witnesses, including neighbors and investigators, report seeing it. A towering figure over 6 feet tall, cloaked in black, its face hidden in shadow. It appears at the foot of beds, in doorways, or watching from the garden. One investigator, a skeptic named Colin Wilson, visits in 1974. He's prepared to debunk it. But as he stands in the living room, a heavy bookshelf topples toward him, missing by inches. He leaves shaken, unable to explain it. By the mid-1970s, 30 East Drive was infamous. Paranormal researchers flocked to the house, drawn by its reputation. They document chilling phenomena, temperature drops, objects levitating, and voices. One recording captures a guttural growl saying, "Leave this place." The tape distorts, as if the voice itself corrupts the device. Diane, now a teenager, is the focal point. Poltergeist activity often centers on adolescence, possibly due to emotional or hormonal energy. But Diane's experience is extreme. She's thrown from chairs, pinned to walls, and once, reportedly levitates off her bed, witnessed by her aunt and uncle. The Pritchards try everything, exorcisms, blessings, even ignoring it. Nothing works. In 1975, the activity peaked when Jean was attacked. She's in the kitchen when a knife flies from the counter, grazing her arm. Blood drips onto the linoleum, mixing with yet another inexplicable puddle. Eventually, the Pritchards move out, exhausted and traumatized. But the house doesn't stay quiet. New tenants report similar disturbances, shadows, noises, and that same oppressive presence. In 2012, the case inspired a low-budget film, When the Lights Went Out, bringing renewed attention to 30 East Drive. Today, 30 East Drive is a pilgrimage site for ghost hunters. Its current owner, Bill Bungay, who produced When the Lights Went Out, claims the activity never stopped. Visitors report scratches, bruises, and sightings of the Black Monk. In 2016, a group of investigators fled after a chair was hurled at them. Skeptics argue the activity could be psychological, mass hysteria, amplified by the house's reputation. Others point to the area's history. Pontefract's gallows site, its bloody past, could anchor a restless spirit. But science can't explain the scratches, the voices, or the Black Monk's unrelenting presence. So what was it? A poltergeist feeding on Diane's teenage energy? The vengeful spirit of a hanged monk? Or something darker? A demonic force masquerading as a ghost? The Pritchards believed it was evil. Diane, now in her 60s, refuses to speak about it, still haunted by those years. The Black Monk of Pontefract defies explanation. It's not just a ghost story, it's a warning. Some places hold on to their pain, their anger, their darkness. And at 30 East Drive, that darkness has a name. If you ever find yourself in Pontefract, you can visit. You can stand in the rooms where Diane was dragged, where Jean bled, where the Black Monk watched. But ask yourself, are you ready to meet it? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then check out these videos on the screen now. If you have a topic suggestion, please send it to the email in the description. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And remember, the only thing scarier than these stories is missing out on our next video.